talking about different parenting styles. Did you grow up playing outside?
Oh yeah, I was a country girl. I loved dirt. I had like 100 different cats, dogs. I loved animals. Every chance I got to not wear shoes, I would do it. I hated shoes when I was younger.
Yeah.
I liked to get dirty. Like
Yeah.
I was a wild child.
On this episode of The Roost, we have 16-year-old Alex Gramby, who has been putting the hours in singing and training her voice. Multiple friends of mine have showed me her videos on TikTok of her singing and playing guitar, and it was impressive to say the least. Whenever her mom reached out, I was more than happy to have them in the studio. She's incredibly sharp and unbelievably talented, so please enjoy this conversation with Alex Gramby. And wow, you just had an amazing couple of songs you showed for us, and
Thank you.
that was really cool. Just getting to kind of sit back and have that in your living room is pretty good treat. So that was awesome. How long you been singing for?
I've been singing since I was little, but I guess professionally, 7th grade.
So what is professionally singing for you?
Like getting into a real choir and singing with other people. I would say maybe professionally, actually 9th grade, because that's when I started to get into like honor choir and stuff like that, and actually go out of my district and sing with other people around Louisiana.
Oh, wow. So it was just around Louisiana, or what kind of traveling do you do with a choir like that?
Well, it depends on honor choir. If you make honor choir, then everybody that makes honor choir, it's like district wise, we all come together and we perform. But if you make all state, you go to Baton Rouge and you perform with everybody in Louisiana, and then after that you have national honor choir and you get to go to Hawaii.
So tell me about where you're from and how did you end up in this choir? Like, is it through school? And tell me about what school.
It's through school. I originally wanted to do band. I loved band, and then COVID hit, and so I didn't do band again, but instead I did choir. And so I found a love in choir. But actually, I found a love in choir because I did the 6th grade talent show, and the choir director's like, you need to be on my choir. Yeah.
Getting recruited.
Yeah. And so
awesome.
That's how I really got into choir. But before then, I was a band kid. And then now I do band and choir.
Dang. So what do you play in band?
Tenor sax and bass clarinet.
That's awesome. I wish I could play saxophone.
It's pretty easy. I think it's like known to be one of the most easiest instruments to play.
Dang. Well.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
Made me feel bad for trying. No, that's really cool. So you're a sophomore in high school.
Yes.
You're singing. You got crazy good pipes. What are you looking to do? What are you looking to do out of high school? Out of the organization choir you've got. You still.
Like, what am I doing after choir?
And you honestly don't need to know anything about what you're doing later in life, because I still don't know what I'm doing right now. But it's really awesome to see that you've obviously got a lot of drive and a lot of fire in you. So what do you wish you were doing?
So this is kind of like, I always want music to be a part of my life. Whatever I do, how far it's gonna take me, this music thing. But what I want to go to college for is forensic psychology.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
How'd you hear about that?
I'm into crime, not in a weird way, but I'm into crime, and like I like the minds of it's really fascinating, the minds of like murderers and stuff, like what goes through their head and why do they do it. So it's like a dark job, but I want to kind of study, what makes them do these things and how can we prevent it, because there's violence all over the world, and if I can be the one that can help to prevent it, then yeah.
Or how can we get away with it?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, no.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's awesome. And did you say a school that you were looking at?
I have no idea.
Dang, I couldn't tell you where they have programs like that, but I think it's
Somebody said UL, but
oh, yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
But somebody also said that UL takes pride in engineering. So
sure,
yeah, I don't know.
yeah. Well, I can only talk really for the music business program, but it is a great idea to go into something non-music and to still, if you can do both.
Yeah.
And have that degree back you up, that'll only, open more doors for you later on.
I definitely want to be in the choir and the band
Yeah.
at whatever, not high school, whatever college I go to.
Yeah. Wherever you go, I'm sure there'll be some opportunities to keep it up for sure.
Yeah.
Some of the best musicians I know are total brainiacs, and they did accounting or some other major. Well,
Oh, no, I'm not good at math.
And so it's definitely, if you can manage both, that's great. That'd be awesome. So so tell me about these songs that you just played for us. There's some interesting song choices. How did you kind of come to like those songs, choose those songs?
So, Purpose, I originally sung it for one of my friends' funerals.
Mm-hmm.
He recently, it was like we did a visual for him at school, and he recently died about a year ago.
Sure.
And so I think that it was a good match for me to sing it because, it's emotion behind it, and it represents something that's close to my heart. Iris is one of my favorite songs. I love Iris. It's just a good song, a good classic. And Swan Song, I've recently been getting into the girl who sings it, which is Victoria Canal. She's one of my favorite singers. She speaks a lot of emotions into her music, and when I listen to music, I really pay attention to the lyrics because I feel like the lyrics are the most important part besides the instrumental, but I like to listen to the lyrics because it makes you feel emotions.
Sure. Yeah, and it's pretty heavy subject matter, and to see you singing it with such grace, I was like, wow. I mean, those are some strong themes to really get a hold of at your age. So that was pretty impressive. And yeah, tell me about where. I don't know if I've heard the artist that sang Swan Song or.
Her name is Victoria Canal. She's like really underrated,
Sure.
sadly, but her music is really good. I would advise you to listen to it because the different beats she has, especially her recent album, is really good. No skips.
Very good, very good. So who else are you listening to right now? Who's kind of getting you into the music mindset?
I really like indie music, so Phoebe Bridgers. Oh my gosh, when people ask me this, I kind of zone out. But Phoebe Bridgers, Victoria Canal, the Sea Rose. No, it's called Sea Rose, I think. Just indie. Oh, Sufjan Stevens.
Sufjan Stevens.
Yeah. Mac Miller. I like Mac Miller. Tyler the Creator.
Nice.
I like country too. So I like everything. Especially I like listening to different languages too. But mostly my top two genres that I listen to is indie and country.
Now you said different languages. Do you speak any other languages?
No.
You just like the.
Well, okay, so I can sing in different languages, but speak it Korean. I was really into Korean a couple years ago, so if I do watch some K-dramas, I'll be like, oh, I know what they're saying. So stuff like that, and some in Spanish. If somebody's having a conversation, be like, oh yeah, they're saying this. But here and there, it's kind of broken, but I can kind of understand. If I can understand one word, I'll be able to understand the whole conversation.
Yeah, well, that's really cool. I know some people like some K-dramas, but
yeah.
So tell me who who's kind of mentoring you? Is anyone helping you out? Anyone kind of showing you the ropes of how to sing, how to do your thing, or you just kind of fall into this?
Um, of course, I get a lot of my inspiration from listening to music. Um, but I recently met this artist, and I want to create a band of like me and my friends because we're all in choir and band, and so we're like musically inclined. So we want to create a band where it could be like a free space. We could practice and get really good, and maybe do different shows, here and there, just for fun. Um, so the mentor, which is the artist I recently had a collaboration with, his name's Anu. He's gonna help me do all that stuff. And some of his friends gonna help us play piano, guitar, get us used to the studio, stuff like that.
Mm. Now,
So I guess he's my mentor.
how did you meet this mentor?
My mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I meet a lot of people through my mom.
It's good to have someone on your side.
Yeah.
It's a blessing to have people looking out for you, and to be, have people who support your lifestyle, your decisions. But it can also be a curse, So you always want to. It's always good to be your own motivation.
Yeah.
You should never need someone else to motivate you, because this is, music is a very hard thing to keep up in life. And
Yeah, it's very. I mean, through this whole experience, I've had more anxiety than I've ever had in my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the end, it is worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up a shy kid too, so I can totally sympathize with, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself in these situations that
exactly.
I know I'm just gonna dread? But there is a lot of payoff, and there is something special about getting to express yourself, and not a lot of people get that. So that's a gift. But like I said, it's definitely one of those things. I heard a good quote the other day, which is that if you can imagine yourself doing anything else, you might not want to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna, trying to make a living on music is strange and different. And I can't say that, I can only speak from my own experiences. I haven't been the most successful in the world yet, but
Yeah.
I do know that.
Manifest.
Yeah. I think you've definitely got a lot of drive for your age, and if you just keep it going, I mean, it's more of a time game. And if you can just outlast everyone else and just keep true to what you're doing, and keep waking up every morning and doing it and still loving it, you're going to go far. And so you got great talent, and
Thank you.
I love to see what you're doing. So
What kind of genre do you sing?
So I play guitar and sing blues and rock. I grew up just playing blues guitar and rock guitar, and not really singing too much. I only started singing recently, and singing's new to me, but I am gaining an appreciation for it, having to treat myself more like an athlete, more like, oh, I've got to warm up, I've got to maybe eat choice things, and take care of myself. So I'm really liking to sing some rage stuff, kind of some little aggressive. I grew up playing kind of traditional music, and now I'm kind of branching out into original music, and that's a whole different version of expressing yourself. To play other people's music is kind of putting yourself in, on the back burner, and being humble enough to not insert yourself too much. But whenever it's your original music and your original lyrics, then you really feel like you're putting your heart on the table.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to do that. So I think we're both gonna, I guess, find out together what we do, what I do, because I'm not entirely sure yet, I guess. But
well, the good thing is that, I mean, as generations keep on coming, like, more of us are more open about things. So I'm not gonna say that. I mean, there's mainstream music, and so, like, the mainstream artists, they're gonna get like popular, but I'm also noticing like underground artists are getting popular too, with TikTok and stuff like that. So it kind of gives them a pathway into like the music industry. Like, you see people that literally post one video, they blow up, and they're popular forever. So that's the good thing about, our younger generation, because we're willing to help other people and we're more open to new music instead of like only having rap, R&B, stuff like that. Because indie was not popular or rock was not that popular, but it's becoming more popular for this younger generation. So I think it's easier to have a path into the music industry, whatever level you want to be in.
Definitely, the barrier to entry is much lower. But that's a very cool statement that you're saying, which is, the younger generation being more open. Tell me about, every day I feel like I get a little bit more disconnected from being in high school again. But tell me what it is like in this new generation to be, how is it open? How is it changed? How is it, what is it like growing up in high school right now?
Okay, so I'm not going to lie. It's harsh, but your friends really help you get through it. I'm glad to have friends that aren't problematic. They're accepting of everybody, and they're willing to understand instead of just going by whatever they feel at that moment, A lot of kids, even though I say they're open, like a lot of kids are open, but a lot of people like to influence their kids to make them feel like, oh, you should think this or think that. And a lot of kids are too afraid to actually think by themselves. And so that kind of stops them from actually opening their eyes and noticing that maybe this isn't right, or maybe my parents are just saying this to brainwash me, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But as the years go by, I'm noticing like the younger generation, they're getting better and better with trying to understand people. And, the influences, TV and stuff, it's iffy, but I do notice that more influences are opening a lot of the younger kids' minds. So that's good, but...
Yeah, there's definitely influences everywhere. And if I've learned anything playing music the past couple of years is that you are who you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
So it's definitely good to hear that. Hopefully you got some good friends and some good people around you. And especially during high school when it's, that's very important.
Everybody's finding themselves,
Sure.
So...
I'm still finding myself.
Yeah, every...
Well, very good, yeah. It is always important to surround yourself with good people. And yeah, every bit of content is constantly trying to influence you. Everyone's trying to sell you something. Everyone's trying to, make you pay attention to whatever they got. And
yeah.
I think the lower barrier to entry has definitely saturated the internet with just endless content. It can be very hard to break through the noise.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm hoping that I can be in any way, have any help to help you break through the noise, because you got a great voice and a great thing going on.
Thank you.
Definitely want to see you do the best you can, see anyone else do the best they can. So I'm excited for you.
I'm excited for you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, so you have some original songs you got in the back pocket. You've been writing it all?
Yes. I recently wrote this song. I just need to master it or get to a good enough level for me to sing it, because I'm kind of a perfectionist. So if it's not good to me, then in my eyes, it's not going to be good to anybody else. So yeah, I'm just kind of battling that, because I do have songs, but I'm like, if I don't like it, then why publish it? Because I'm going to just be annoyed at myself and be like, oh, I did this, or oh, I did that. So I have to just kind of relax, and nothing has to be perfect, but taking it day by day.
Dude, you're awesome.
Thank you.
You're awesome. That's very wise for you to say, you want to be the one to love it first.
Yeah.
Someone said, the player is the first listener. And so you're going to want to, it's going to be good to love whatever you're doing. And if you love it, people will definitely resonate with that.
Yeah.
And also to think, how can I be patient? How can I really, not rush into a subpar product?
Yeah.
If you can have the patience and the good head on your shoulders, yeah, man, you're gonna go so far.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely don't rush it. I feel myself trying to rush so much, just trying to like, oh, I need to be there already.
Yeah.
I need to be out there. I see kids younger than me out there. What's going on? But
Yeah.
but lately it has been a good thing, just taking my time and really trying to develop a product behind the scenes before.
I think it's better to be patient and take your time than kind of rush, because even though, there's kids younger than us that are doing all these things, like they're performing and stuff, it's a lot of stress on them at an age that, and also it's a lot of their older peers kind of pressuring them to do this. So I think it's good to take your time, because even though they are successful right now and even though they are putting themselves out there, they potentially are still suffering, you know what I mean? Because they can't do it. They can't control their lives.
Sure. No one's life is perfect.
Yeah.
Social media will definitely make it seem like there's a ton of people out there living perfect lives, and it's just not true. And, there's really no one out there that's free from pain. So
Everybody's suffering in their own way.
For sure. So, yeah, I'm glad to hear that you don't, hopefully you don't put any too much value on what other people think or what other people do, and don't compare yourselves to others.
Yeah. It's mostly like, if I don't think it's good, or if it's just like my own mind thing, yeah, I'll take other people's stuff into consideration, but if it's not the way I like it, then it's no way at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But sometimes it is good to cut yourself a little bit of slack. Yeah. I think the best artists are perfectionists, and they definitely are their own worst critic. But sometimes it is good to cut yourself some slack, and to always, remember to take rest days, and to provide some self-help for yourself, and to self-love, and make sure that, that you are being patient, that you are taking time to prioritize your health. And, you're not even out of high school yet. So it's like, it's going to be a whole different world out there, but I think you got a good head on your shoulders. So
yeah, I mean, I'm doing a lot of stuff right now, but I like doing a lot of things. It keeps me going, and I don't like to just, I value like a self-care day, but I just like to be busy, because if I'm not busy, I'm like, oh, I'm doing something wrong. Like, I need to be busy. Like, I'm in band, choir, student council. I'm doing theater again. I'm doing a lot of stuff. I love to do a lot of stuff, because I like to see different views of different things, and I like to try different things. And even if it's like, I think it is a way for me to heal and self-care, because it's things that I love.
Yeah.
And so even though it is a lot, I do value the outcome of everything that I do, even if it makes me feel pressured or makes me anxious.
Yeah. Yeah, it is good to do the things you enjoy. It's meditative, and it helps you kind of escape and forget about the homework you got to do, or the whatever, you just go and play some saxophone and do your thing. So that's awesome. Does your school basically allow you to seek out your passions all the way?
My school's very complicated.
Tell me about your school.
We're very broken. I'll say that. I'll say we're very broken. But I do notice that we do come together when music is there. Of course, we're not together in a way. We're separated. But when it comes to doing things that make us come together, it's uplifting, such as music. Like, I noticed that everybody is different. Everybody has different backgrounds, different views, different everything. But when I look at somebody that I would never think they have the same music taste as me, I'm like, wow, like maybe you are cool. But you know, stuff like that. You know, we are just kids put in this jail. We're forced to work and learn. So I do cut the kids slack because we don't do this because we want to do it. We're just going day by day. And yeah, people can be very uplifting. People can be mean, but it's human nature. But I try to think of the positive more than the negative.
Yeah.
And that's also why I wanted to be on student council, because I did feel like there was space between what we can do to bring our school together and what we're doing wrong that's not bringing our school together. So help. I was in student council last year, but you know there was problems with that because we weren't really talking to we weren't getting the community involved in order to get us together. But I'm hoping next year it changes.
So tell me a little bit about like where you've been playing, like where you've been singing out in public.
So I've been playing at different places, Zodiac Shack, you know, different kind of podcast. I think it's called Blue Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I played there. It's nice. Just different places.
So how did you get hooked up with Blue Monday? Was your mom knowing somebody?
Yeah. My mom knew one of her friends kind of was in charge of Blue Monday, and that was also supposed to help me with my trip to Hawaii. And so I practiced with professionals, and I was very shocked at how they could like easily pick up things. I'm like, wow, I want to be like you. It was really cool. It was really nice. Recently, I did something with my mentor, I guess you could say, a friend. And it was nice because we have I've never played with a band. So when I do play with bands, I'm amazed because I'm like, wow, you guys are really connected when it comes to music. And, you know, they can, again, you know, separate lives, separate different backgrounds, yet they all come together when it comes to music.
That's awesome. We're very familiar with Blue Monday and Lee Allen Zeno over here.
Yeah.
That's an awesome group to be around. But it is very, very fascinating when you're growing up and you come into a space and you see these people that have been doing this for so much longer, and you see how they connect with each other.
Yeah.
And one, they've been playing these songs for years and years, but two, that they can communicate with each other on kind of an impromptu basis, just to improvise with each other, and to communicate, you know, with music. It gives you a perspective that music might be a language, and that the more and more you do it, the more you're able to speak that language fluently, and then to be able to come and meet someone else new, and you hear their accent and their language, you hear their vocabulary is different. You can learn a lot from people. And so whenever I was 17, I just got into playing with Lee Allen Zeno and playing with all those guys, and they took me under their wing and showed me what it means to communicate and be a part of a band, which is so much different than being like an individual artist and singing to just tracks, or singing to basically like writing all the other parts for even other musicians.
Yeah.
To come together as a band and to give a part of yourself to be a part of something bigger, and to play a specific part to make the whole band become one instrument. That's a special thing. So I'm definitely excited for you to be playing with that group, because they can definitely teach you a lot, and they can definitely teach you what it means to be in a band. Yeah. And that'd be great. That'd be great for you. I'd love to hear that too. You have to let me know whenever you're playing with Blue Monday again.
Okay. It wasn't exact. Okay, so I don't know if you heard my song Cold.
I might have heard a video, a little clip.
But we only had 2 days for them to learn it.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference between me and their band is I'm very soft spoken.
Mm-hmm.
I sing very soft, and I have, a kind of an indie style, and they're more jazzy, groovy. So it kind of was, we were all trying to get together and come to a level where we can both sound good. But I just think we needed more time because...
So you had 2 days before a show with Blue Monday?
Yeah. Yeah, 2 practices.
Sure.
So, yeah, it was kind of hectic, and they're kind of not struggling, but they had to like see my music, and it was kind of, there's another girl who was she was performing too, and it was a little bit easier for them to do it. But I think if we have another take, it would definitely be good. We just needed more time because it was new music and they've never heard it before. But I think for the time that we did have, it was really good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this was your original song you're bringing to this group of old cats,
Yeah.
old killers. I mean, that it does take a little bit of time and experience to learn how to kind of direct a band,
Yeah.
and kind of get what you want out of them.
Like they taught me how to go like, so when I was doing my guitar, they're like, okay, which fret, and then they would kind of like communicate to each other. They would say either like 2 or 3, and I was like, yeah, those numbers.
Yeah, what they might be talking about is the Nashville number system, and that's going to be super helpful for you to learn. I can definitely send you something, and it's no rush or anything, but if it is it is one of the most common ways that musicians can communicate with each other, and that'll allow you, if you get really good with knowing what keys your songs are in and knowing about the chord structure of the song, then you could communicate that to any band. You could walk up to a band in Nashville and say, hey, I got a song in E major and it's 1-4-5, and it's just a 12-bar blues, and that might be all you have to say for them to nail your song.
That's cool.
So what kind of background do you have in like music theory and kind of...
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
I mean, the basic stuff we learn in band, like bars and like
sure.
signature changes, majors, minors, stuff like that. But I really want to get into music theory. I just need to do it.
I'm a big music theory nerd, so I'm trying to make some videos for YouTube, teaching some music theory, teaching some, just basic musician tips and stuff. But I really want to ask the public kind of what they want to know, and what do people really not know. I take it for granted because it's one of those things that I kind of get nerdy about and get sucked up into, but it wasn't always that way. I had a lot of resistance to trying to learn more about that stuff, but once I hit college and just turned on the I'm going to be a professional musician switch, then it's like everything you learn, all of it will help you. All of it. There's nothing, it's like, oh, what do I learn? I don't know if I should learn this first or learn this first, but all of it helps. And so, I think that'd be great for you.
Yeah. I'll definitely, if you do post, I'll definitely watch it.
Thanks. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, music is kind of like a little language, and lately I've been going to some music festivals and hearing some bands from other countries that speak other languages.
Did you go to
Festival International? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. I was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were speaking in different languages, and I was like, they sound so good. I saw this one band. They were called something Hey Babies.
The Hey Babies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really good. I enjoyed that. They were kind of like retro, like funky music. I was like, that's really good. I just so amazed. Like, you can make different things with music. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it was really cool. And like, even if I don't understand any of the lyrics or anything like that, there's something that we still resonate with. It's that the rhythm or the textures that they're using.
Yeah, you get like serotonin.
Yeah, for sure. And all the people being there together. There's something special about a live event when there's a group of people all together, all feeling the same thing, and all getting hit in their soul with the kick drum and
Yeah.
dancing their tapping their foot together. So that's super special. Y'all are growing up so much more online and so much more, the internet and stuff like that. But I hope that humans continue and never forget the importance of live music.
Yeah.
And going to
So much
enjoy something as a community and stuff like that. Speaking of the internet, what was going to school during like COVID like? Because I can't imagine what the younger generations had to go through as they're coming up through their formative years through a period like that.
So it happened in 7th grade, and I think 7th grade is just bad luck for everybody. I don't know. Everybody I've talked to, they're like, oh, my 7th grade was horrible. So it was just, and my 7th grade was going so well. And then COVID happened. I'm like, wow, I mean, I guess this is true. But like, it was like very mentally draining, especially because like we were quarantined, and then a lot of, TikTok was a really big thing. So you saw all kind of different videos about different things that are happening in the world, and it was very kind of traumatizing for me. It was very kind of mentally draining, and then I got sucked into like these rabbit holes of conspiracy theories, and yeah, so I was like, it was like really like,
it's a lot.
Yeah, and my mental health was not good because I was becoming a little bit delulu. Just a little bit delulu. Stuff was actually going into my head. I was like, this is going to happen to me. So, yeah, but that's why it was still COVID, but I was in the house for a long time. I did online school. I liked online school because at that time, because of everything that was happening, I didn't really want to be by anybody. So I was like kind of grateful for that. But, then you would see these different videos and these different shows. I would be watching them, and it's very mentally, it was not good for me. But that's why I decided, okay, I need to get out of this gunk, and I need to do something. I need to be out there, because staying inside of the house all day is not good for you. Not having any physical contact or not talking to anybody is not good for me. I kind of just threw away all my friends. I did not talk to them for a longest time because I was just so paranoid, But that's when I decided. I watched this one TikTok. It was about a band. I was like, dang, I miss band. And so that's when I decided to join band. And that was the best thing I could possibly do. And I was during COVID. So of course we were restricted. We had to wear little protectors on our instruments, and we had to kind of alternate between who can play. It would be brass plays on this day, woodwinds play on this day. So we weren't all together, but when we did go outside and we were together, it was really good. And the football game, just I did everything for the first time because I've never been in marching band. And so I joined my 9th grade year, and so we did. Just that whole experience was really eye-opening to me. I met so many great people. A lot of my friends, if I didn't join band, I wouldn't have had today. So I'm really grateful for the experience that band has given me during COVID, because COVID was hard for everybody. It's a very stressful time, very mentally draining, because all these different things were happening at one time and nobody knew what actually was happening. COVID is still a thing, but it's definitely not gotten better, but people are becoming less afraid of it and coming together more. But
for sure.
But safety is the most important thing.
Dang, somebody media train you. Shoot. Well, yeah, I mean, we were blessed to have festival this past weekend.
Yeah.
It seems like COVID's been kind of under wraps, and we were able to join together again. I mean, to take that away from people is pretty tough. And like you said, to get out of the house and get off the internet and to be back with a group of people through band,
Yeah.
that's very important. So I'm glad you had that. Do you think everyone's as put together as you? You think everyone has a good sense of the dangers of the internet, or what do you get the sense of your classmates? Do you think a lot of your classmates are kind of getting sucked into the internet a little bit?
Okay, well, obviously, I mean, I don't know. Not everybody thinks like I do. A lot of people kind of just don't think before they speak.
Sure.
And they see something or they just do it. They don't think, you know what I mean? And they don't understand that there's going to be repercussions for what they do. So I don't think that people are aware, but I don't blame them. But I do kind of blame them because, yes, I don't know what type of household they come from. I was created in a more open household where I can feel the way I feel, like have my own opinions on things and not get judged for it. You know what I mean? But I know a lot of kids can't do that, so that's the way they act, and different experiences in their life can make them act the way they act. So I don't expect people to act the way I act. I kind of, at first I was like, no, they need to act like this. Like from my friends, I was like, no, they need to act like this. I have very high standards.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, I really forgot that they're human too.
Sure.
And just as I make mistakes, they do make mistakes too. Of course, boundaries. If you break my boundaries, of course, I'm going to have to take action. But I have to meet people halfway, no matter what. If they don't decide to meet me halfway, then, I've just dropped them. But I shouldn't expect so much from people, knowing their backgrounds and knowing what they've gone through. And, everybody has a different rate of how they heal. And maybe my healing was faster than the others at my school, and that's why I guess I know more than what they know, but I don't hold it against them because, again, different backgrounds, different influences. But, of course, I know what's wrong and what's right, and in that moment, if it's wrong, then I'm going to stand up for it, but I'm not going to put it against them if they do make a mistake.
Yeah, it's very interesting. You can't always change people. You can't make anyone act a certain way, and everyone does have different backgrounds and different draws of the cards. And that's one special thing about music, maybe, is that kind of regardless of background, you can maybe resonate with certain people, and maybe that one song is all it takes to change somebody's life.
Yeah.
And for them to kind of realize something going on in their life, or something that maybe it's been causing them distress this whole time. So, one thing I would love to do, I would love to change the world for the better. And I don't know if I can do that.
You're changing the world right now.
Well, yeah. But but for good, and like for positive change, and to hopefully bring people out of that darkness that it seems like COVID put people in, which was getting sucked into the internet. And there's a lot of good things about the internet, and a lot of good things about communicating in that way. But I fear for the younger generation that's just been so much more exposed than people I grew up with.
Yeah.
And how that affects them.
It can be a good thing and also a bad thing. 2020 was very hectic, but it also was very eye-opening in a negative way and a positive way. It really set boundaries for things that more people became more open about who they are. And because of that, more people were accepting of it. I did notice a lot that it was kind of an educational era, whether it was false or true. There's a lot of truth in what people are trying to educate, but there was a lot of false information. But it definitely did open a lot of people's eyes to what this world brings to you and what society's standards are of the people in this world.
Mm. Do you think the schools are getting worried about what's true and what's not true anymore? Today, I know there's AI and there's different things on the internet that
Which is scary.
it is very scary because it's very new. It's a lot of change. Do you think kids are still going to be writing essays, still going to be producing work on their own, with all these new language modelers?
I can say for my generation, a lot of them rather be physical with it, not technology. Like, I don't really like I think a lot of people that are older with me would expect our generation to kind of understand technology more, but I have no idea what I'm doing half the time with technology. But it is kind of fearful for, like, the 4-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds, because I see a lot of videos of them watching TV and then on their tablets, or getting phones, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of support little kids getting a phone because dangerous, like safety reasons, but
Sure.
it can be damaging, because what if they see something they're not supposed to see? They go ask their mom.
Yeah.
What is the mom gonna say? What's the dad gonna say? You know what I mean? It can be a good thing and a negative thing. I think it's really what type of parent you have.
Sure.
And what limits they have for you, and what limits they don't have for you. Because if their limits are expecting too much, then of course their kid is gonna not be all well rounded. But if they give you freedom and also restrict you from things that you just don't need to know at your age, then I feel like you're more willing to have an open mind and not believe every influence you see.
Sure. So you were telling me earlier you grew up in Jackson, right? Jackson,
I
Mississippi?
grew up till I was 5,
Okay.
but really I grew up in Louisiana.
So then let me ask this. So talking about different parenting styles, did you grow up playing outside, not on,
Oh yeah, I was a country girl. I loved dirt. I had like 100 different cats, dogs. I loved animals. Every chance I got to not wear shoes, I would do it. I hated shoes when I was younger.
Yeah.
I liked to get dirty. Like,
Yeah.
I was a wild child.
Yeah.
I loved the nature. I still love nature, but of course, calm down. I'll tone it down. But sometimes I like to go back to, I guess, what my inner child used to like to do. But I wasn't online that much because I really just loved the outside and what it gave me. I think nature gives you more than what the internet gives you.
For sure. There's a lot of nothing on the internet.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of nothing. I remember growing up, and my old school used to have some woods by it. We'd run in the woods and we'd go, dig up bottles with sticks and trade and, hunt, quote unquote. But
that's what I miss, though, because I remember in elementary we didn't have phones. We weren't allowed to have phones.
yeah,
We can have phones now, but we'd like think of different games. Like, we used to play marriage. Like, we used to play cops and robbers, stuff like that,
You think kids know how to do that anymore today?
No.
Cops and robbers and
Like, I remember
tag.
I'd say, let's play this. They'd be like, what is that? Like, I'm like, oh my God, okay.
Yeah, kids only play social media now. That's a scary game to play. What happened to all them good outdoor, get your heart rate going games.
Yeah.
And that brings an interesting point, which is like, it seems like you had good parents and you had good influences that allowed you to kind of grow up in that kind of environment. And that's kind of stating the power of parents and the power of the people who raise you. And everything I'm hearing now with you seem bright, you seem talented.
Thank you.
So for your parents to be able to give you that, that's a blessing. And
They would say they give me too much sometimes.
But I think it brings up an interesting point, which is like, if you want to see better change in the world, music's one way to do it, but another way to do it is to just be a good parent.
Yeah.
And to I think good parenting could save the world. If there was just a movement of better understanding and better communication between the generations, and to help bring up and raise a well-rounded youth would really do the world some good. So.
And I do I'm not against parents. Like, I do agree, like parenting is hard because you don't know, you don't know the right way, especially if you have a kid, your first kid. You're like, okay, if I do this, what's going to be the repercussion? If I teach my kid this, what's going to happen? You're never too sure, because you could be doing the right thing and it all turns out wrong. You could still have a kid that's misguided, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a game, you never know until they actually grow up and become the person they want to be. But I think the key to having a kid that's not afraid to speak what they want and express themselves and be open with others is communication.
Sure.
I feel like a lot of kids that feel misguided or have done things that they're going to regret, that all could have been resolved if their parents or whoever their parental guidance was just talk to them.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely a lot of tough conversations that need to be had, for sure. I can think back to all my mistakes definitely being just from really not knowing what reality was, or not knowing how much value I had in myself, and self-value and all that. And parenting is such a tricky thing, and not that I'm a parent yet, but thank God. But but it is interesting, because when you're growing up, you don't see your parents as human beings. You see them as gods, or as something different, just some provider.
And as you get older, you're like,
oh yeah,
they're human. They're like me.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Thanks for coming, man. It's been awesome. You had a beautiful voice. We were so happy to hear you, and hope you all the best.
Thank
If there's
you.
anything
I
else,
hope you're the best.
Oh, thank you.
I can't wait to see you on TV.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. If there's anything else you want to tell the people, you have a message for people at home?
Be self-aware.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye, everybody.